One of the hardest things when I first started photography 15 years ago already was editing portrait photography. It was a fight for me and I did struggle, but now obviously I've been doing it for so many years. But I know when you start, it's quite hard, and even more when you don't have an editing style yet. So today I'm going to show you my workflow and how I edit my portrait photography to achieve that soft, cinematic, professional look in your photos. And you're going to be able to see how I do it, and regardless of the software you use, I think you're going to be able to replicate it, okay? So let's go to Lightroom. These are the many photos I took the other day in my home photography studio. I highly recommend you to watch that video if you are into portrait photography, because I show you how you can have your home photography studio with the minimum gear and take photos like this. And I even show you some tricks for you to achieve different moods in your lighting using just one light. So I'm sure you're gonna love it. And these photos are from this video. So I have many here selected. So this one is already edited. This is the before. The raw file, it's already perfect. But then with my color gradient, it would be like this. And you can achieve the same. So let's edit this one. This one is without editing. This is the raw file. What I do always in Lightroom, I mean, you have to do this as well because you're going to be way quicker at editing. When you find your style, create presets, and then you can apply the same presets to every photo and then adjust it. So that's what I do. I do have my own Lightroom presets. You may know that already. So I have all of them here. So normally for studio photography, I like to apply Cinematic by Laura BC. And you can see here the color gradient is beautiful, but obviously I had to do more things. I'm not gonna apply any preset because I want you to be able to do this without having any preset, okay? So this one goes quite well, and then I have a new preset inspired in Bali, which is this one, Bali Film, cold. There is cold and warm. The cold one, I'm gonna give it more light. It looks amazing already. It's not finished. I would have to change a lot of things here, but you can see here with one click, if you are a beginner, how you can achieve an amazing color grading. This is something I have to tell you. I don't care if you don't get my presets, okay? Get other photographers if you like. Buying Lightroom presets, I did this when I didn't know how to edit in Lightroom. It's very good for you to learn, because when I liked an editing style from someone, I got the preset and then I went to the tools bar and I checked bit by bit what that photographer did. And I learned from it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna tweak this around and see what's changing. I'm gonna change this, I'm gonna change that. It's so good for you to learn, but you have to take the time. Don't get a preset, apply it, and that's it. Take the time to learn it because you're going to be able to learn a lot from anyone's presets, okay? This being said, I'm gonna reset this because I want you to do it from zero. Let's go to the tools bar in Adobe Lightroom. The first thing I'm gonna do is give it a bit more light. It doesn't need too much, to be honest. It's quite good. I'm gonna reduce the whites a little and the highlights a little. And then I'm gonna go down. This is a trick I use for all my portrait photos because nowadays, with amazing lenses and cameras, you can see every single detail in your skin. I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna expose myself here. You can see all the red marks and the texture is quite rough. That's something that happens in studio photography even when you are using a good diffuser, okay? That's totally fine. We all have texture in the skin. So what I'm going to do is reduce the texture here a tiny bit. I'm gonna do it a lot for you to see what it does. Don't do that, okay? But just tiny bit, maybe -10. And then the clarity, I reduce it a little bit as well to create a softer look in the portrait. So if I raise it, terrible, don't do this with your portraits. So I'm going to reduce it. I'm gonna do it in -10 as well. And this is already way softer than before, and it's not too noticeable, but I do notice it. And in the end result, you notice it as well. So I love how it looks like already, but let's go to the color grading part, which is my favorite part, and I'm gonna keep it very simple. I'm not gonna go into curves, because if you're a beginner, probably they intimidate you. They keep intimidating me, the curves. I swear to you. So I'm gonna go down. This is gonna be way easier than that. And here in color grading, I'm gonna go to the shadows, and something very characteristic of a cinematic look in the cinemas when you watch films, pay attention to the color grading. They use a lot orange and teal because are complementary colors and they look incredible to the eye. There is a reason for it. It's color theory. So what I like to do is add blue in my shadows. This is being used in film a lot and I love it. So I click here in shadows and then in the hue, I go to a blue color, maybe around this one, and I raise the saturation. If I do it a lot, see, it's too much. Don't overdo it, ever, ever. Overdoing things, it's such a beginner mistake. I'm gonna put a teal color here. Yeah, that is better, but I'm gonna reduce it. Maybe there. So this is the before, and this is the after, with the blue in the shadows. And I already love it. It looks amazing. So I'm gonna go down, and something I do as well is add vignette. This I always press it, remove chromatic aberration, if there is any. I shot this one with the 7200 f2.8 G Master from Sony and with my Sony a7R5. It's incredible, look at my eye. And I was using a mist filter. This is a trick you can use as well, using mist filters, because it makes everything softer. I love mist filters. I'm using one right now, by the way. That's why this light here is very diffuse, and that gives a cinematic look in your photos as well. But I'm going to teach you a trick in case you don't have mist filters that you can use in post-production to achieve this effect as well, so don't worry. Okay, let's go down, vignette. I'm gonna give a little bit, reduce the midpoint. And this is the before, and this is the after. For me, it makes the difference. I love to add vignette. So what we've done for now is this, before and after. This photo looks amazing already. And something I use is a plugin which is called Luminar Neo. You may have heard of it. I've been sharing Luminar Neo with you since I started my channel because I was using it to retouch skin way before Adobe released those tools as well. And that's why I bought it. It was Luminar 4 by then because I was struggling to retouch skin. So let's go here and right click, edit in Luminar Neo. In case you don't know Luminar Neo yet, Luminar Neo works as a standalone software, which means that you don't have to pay subscription, and actually it's one of the cheapest software out there and it's very complete. But you can use it as well as a plugin for Photoshop and Lightroom. And this is how I use it, because for me, Lightroom, I've been using it for many years and I think there is no way I'm going to stop using Adobe. But then Luminar Neo is great to complement Adobe. I just love this workflow. Everyone is different, but you can use just Luminar Neo if you don't want to pay Adobe. And what I did right now in Lightroom, you can do it in Luminar Neo as well, because I'll show you here when you go to edit, you have in develop the same tools to adjust the light, the curves, the color as well. Everything I did, you can do it as well here. You don't need to have Lightroom to do this, okay? Just, I wanted to clarify this. But I love Luminar Neo because I love the portrait tools. I'll show you now. But I don't know if you watched a video I've shared not long ago about Aperty. Aperty is a new AI software just for portrait photography. So now, I'm gonna be honest, I use way more Aperty because it's like Luminar Neo portrait tools on steroids. And it's insane. It does the job of professional retouchers, just with some sliders by AI. So even if you are a beginner, you are going to be professional at editing portraits. So I use Aperty more now because I'm a portrait photographer, but Luminar Neo, it's more complete and obviously it's cheaper, but it's more complete. So if you are shooting landscape, portraits, still photography, a bit of everything, I highly recommend you Luminar Neo. And if you are very sure you are going to be a portrait photographer, Aperty for me, it's incredible. Watch the video so you can check it out. You even have a free trial, you can try it, but it's very, very good. But Luminar Neo, it's way cheaper and you can use it for all sorts of photography, okay? So let's go to the face. Here you can add light in the face, but I'm not gonna do it because I already have enough, but just to show you, you don't have to mask anything. But I'm not gonna add it because I like my photos quite moody, so I'm not gonna add more light. I'm gonna leave it like that. Then you can make the face slimmer, before, after, but I never do this. I never ever modify my face or my client's face. They never ask me. If they ask me, I may have to do it, but they don't ask, because I just don't like to do it. So I'm gonna go to the eyes and I'm going to show you my favorite slider here because I don't use all of them. The main one I use is Eye Enhancer. I'm gonna zoom in here for you to see. This is the before and this is the after. It's very natural. And I like natural edits. So the eyes stand out more, but they are not fake, okay? So I use eye enhancer and then eye whitening when I need to. It's very white, my eye, so I'm not gonna do it because otherwise I'm gonna look weird. Don't do this, please, because I saw photos out there that they look horrible because people overdo edits. It's better to fall short on editing than actually over editing because it screams amateur. So don't do that. So then after doing that, what I'm going to do is go to the skin part, which is here, skin. And this is my favorite part because editing skin, it's a pain in the ass. It used to be. So I'm gonna go here, amount. If I go to 100, you can see how it smooths my skin. This is the before and the after. Normally, the maximum I do is 40. And this is one of my favorite tools in Aperty and Luminar Neo. Shine removal. I tried Lightroom, like reducing the whites, the highlights. There is nothing that works as shine removal in Luminar Neo. I do a lot of studio photography. We all have oily skin. So obviously with the flash or the continuous light, I'm gonna shine. And that's totally normal. So you can reduce the shine. I'm gonna do it again 100% for you to see. Now it's very fake because it's like I'm made of paper. Because naturally we have shiny parts, so go lower. I'm gonna go as well like 40 more or less. So this is the before and this is the after, which is already very good. And then something you can do to replicate the mist filter effect is go here. There are two tools, Mystical and Glow. You're gonna see how amazing it looks. I'm gonna go to Glow. This one is more harsh. I'm gonna raise this a little. Super beautiful. Look the before and the after. For my taste, it's very contrasty, so you can go to advanced settings and then you can reduce the contrast if you like, and you can change the temperature, the softness, the brightness. But the other tool, Mystical, I like it more, so I'm gonna cancel this one. Mystical is kind of similar, but it's softer. You will see here, I'm gonna overdo it, which is a lot, but it's more gentle. So when I do a little bit, maybe 20, this is the before, and this is the after. It makes the photo to look more dreamy without being fake. So this is the before, and look at my skin, at my eye, and after. So this is mainly what I would do, but there is another thing that you can do to add more creativity and make it look more like film. It's adding grain. Luminar Neo has this tool as well. You can go here to film grain. You can try. I like to put the size bigger, maybe 30-30. And if you zoom in, this is the before and the after with grain. I think it's quite natural. I'm gonna reduce it a little bit, maybe 10. There you go. I think this photo looks incredible and I didn't use any preset. So you can do this step by step and achieve the same. And I'm gonna teach you a couple of things more because this is very, very important, and more when you have more imperfections in the skin or eye bags. In Aperty, there is an amazing tool to remove the bags. I just use that now. But if you don't have Aperty, I'm gonna show you how to do it. Click apply now. Luminar Neo generated a copy in TIFF format. So now I'm gonna open it in Photoshop. Again, this is my workflow. I love editing photography. For me, it's like meditating. I can be hours editing things. Nobody will notice, okay? I love editing and I love the combination of these three programs, but you are free to use just Luminar Neo because you don't have to pay subscription if you like. You can do everything there because you can also clone. So you can do exactly the same I'm going to do now with cloning in Luminar Neo. First, I'm going to remove these two annoying red marks I have in my nose. So I'm going to use the patch tool, but you can use the clone in Luminar Neo as well, okay? There you go around and then you slide it. That's it. Now I'm going to show you a trick I always use to reduce eye bags. I said reduce, not remove. Let's don't be fake, we all have eye bags, okay? So what I like to do is retouch them, but not eliminate them because it's fake. We always have shadows here. So what I'm gonna do to reduce it is go to the clone tool, reduce the opacity. Normally I do 15%, no more. I'm gonna zoom in more. And then take a fairly big brush and very soft, hardness 0, always. And I'm gonna take a sample of a bright area of my skin, pressing the Option key, and I'm going to paint on top of the shadow to reduce it a little bit. Without overdoing it, I'm gonna do it again, another layer. There you go. So this is very gentle. Look the before and look the after. I preserve the texture of my skin and a little bit of shadow. It's very natural. Many photographers, they do the mistake of over-editing this part and then everything looks plasticky and fake. So don't do this. You saw with the clone stamp, with low opacity, how gentle you can be with your edits, preserving the texture of the skin. This is the final photo. It's not over-edited, it looks very professional and very cinematic, and it has this soft feeling I love in all my photos. You can achieve these results as well, even if you are a beginner, by following today's video and using just Luminar Neo if you don't want to pay Adobe or any sort of subscription. And obviously, you're going to have a link below with a discount code. Join the free trial for Luminar Neo, try it out, and then if you decide to go for it, use the coupon code because I think it's totally worth it. You can see what you can achieve with it. And if you want to see how to take professional photos like this in your home, please check out the video I told you before. I'm gonna put it somewhere here. And if you want to keep learning with me on a weekly basis, subscribe to my channel and like this video because it helps me a lot. And I will see you in the next one. Mwah. Big love from Bali.